Welcome back to the Reviewer Crew. I'm Bina.
And I'm Gabe. On today's episode, we're going to review Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Cam and Carrie are going on the spot to review Doctor Strange.
Here's a trailer for Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore.
Memory is everything. Without it, we are blind. Without it, we leave the fate of our world to chance.
I'm sorry to disturb you, Albus, but I've just received troubling news.
Tell me, what is it?
It's Grindelwald.
Our time is closed, my brothers and sisters. Our war with the Muggles begins today!
The world as we know it is coming undone. If we're to defeat him, you'll have to trust me.
Mr. Kowalski, we need you.
I said I want an out and I want out.
You do know I'm a witch, right?
Dumbledore asked that I give you something, Jacob.
This is the team that's going to take down the most dangerous wizard in a century. Who wouldn't like our chances?
Oh!
No one can know everything, not even you.
What you're doing is madness.
With or without you, I'll burn down their world.
Dangerous times favor dangerous men.
If by tea time all of us are still alive, you should consider our efforts a success, Mr. Kowalski.
My pleasure.
Do you really intend to turn your back on your own kind? It was you who said we could reshape the world.
Even if we make mistakes, we can try to make things right. We're going to need some help.
There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Things are not quite what they appear.
I trust you're enjoying your wand, Mr. Kowalski.
Can I keep this?
So, Gabe, let's talk about this movie now.
Let's talk about it, yeah.
I watched it last night in 4D, which was amazing. I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride the whole time. I mean, the chair was moving, every aerial scene, honestly, every time there was a movement, I was moving. I was moving. And then there was snow, there was water splashing, air. Every time, that final duel.
The final duel was really good.
Everything, it was so dope. I think me watching it in 4D made my experience all the way better. Now, I know movie critics have been going a little harsh at the movie, but there was a lot to like. I think there was still a lot to like. I know we were talking before this about how we loved that they showed more of the international wizarding world, right? We went around and saw all these different countries. Bhutan, we saw a scene from Brazil, we went to Germany. I mean, that was pretty, yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I think one of the things that the James Bond movies do so well is their globe-trotting stories. The Harry Potter series pretty much only set in England.
Yeah.
Not the case with this movie.
Yeah.
Like you said, we go to Bhutan, Brazil, Russia, Germany. And so it's really cool to see the different ministries of magic all around the world.
Right.
And I agree with you that this diversity of setting, it's even reflected in one of our main aspects of this movie, which is the Qilin, which is this, I believe it's Chinese mythological beast. It's like a dragon and a deer, and it's cool looking.
Yeah.
It's really cool design. And so this movie stands out setting wise. And one of the things that's so great about this movie is the production design.
Yeah.
Like we said in our review for The Crimes of Grindelwald, these movies were actually nominated for Oscars for production design and how well these locations pop on screen. And so I totally agree with you. Beautiful scenery, settings, and it's really awesome to be transported out of England.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I've always wanted to see more of the Wizarding World like outside of Hogwarts, which we get to see. But also within Fantastic Beasts, like this is the one time that we actually get to go back to Hogwarts.
Yep.
Which I liked, you know. I think it's kind of hard to continue just the legacy that Harry Potter has made. So Fantastic Beasts, like we're getting there. But I love that we were able to return back to Hogwarts, and there were some references. We saw some of the books, the textbooks, right? Sorry, y'all, spoilers. What else? I mean, we were literally back in the halls. We saw Professor McGonagall when she was young. Like, this is crazy.
And the de-aging wasn't normally I have an issue with CGI de-aging. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
It was honestly it might have been better than The Irishman. So it's like the CGI de-aging wasn't the issue. And you know, they say you can never return home. I think they did a decent job of going back to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It wasn't in it very long, which is what my worry was, because you can't overstay your welcome.
Right.
Hogwarts, you know, you don't want to be nostalgia bait. It was maybe 6-ish minutes that we were in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And it didn't need to be any longer than that. We
I
got
agree.
Hedwig's theme as they played Quidditch. And, you know, we had a little bit of a nostalgia break. Besides that, they didn't overstay their welcome. So I agree with you. I think that was also really good.
And I love how we dive deeper into the Dumbledore's family, their history. Albus Dumbledore finally comes out gay.
Awesome.
He, you know, outright said, I was in love with Grindelwald. Which I was like, okay, perfect, because I mean, like this whole time it's been implied, so now it's confirmed. And then we get into who Credence really is.
Yep, he's a Dumbledore. He's Albus's nephew.
Yes. He's Aberforth's
illegitimate
son, which I never saw.
I was really worried they were gonna make him Dumbledore's son, so
me too.
I'm okay with him being his nephew.
Yeah, I loved Aberforth.
Oh yeah, he's a great character, the owner of the Hog's Head Inn. So it's a character we've loved from the previous movies, from the previous books, and you learn what the duel, like why Aberforth and Albus hate each other.
Yeah.
Aberforth lost his wife because of Albus's duel with Grindelwald.
Oh, their sister.
So, yeah.
Their sister.
Yes, their sister.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that familial trauma is a really cool theme.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily gone through enough. We'll go to our cons later, but they did try to talk about familial trauma, which has always been a theme of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah. It they didn't go in too deep. Definitely more deeper than Harry Potter, because this was mentioned. Ariana's death. This was mentioned in Harry Potter, but never like really. I was gonna. Okay. Did you think it was funny? Some little funny parts, like especially
This
with
movie,
Kowalski.
It seemed a lot more like the MCU, in the sense that like it took itself seriously, but there were a couple of moments where they would crack a joke.
Like ha ha ha.
I don't think everyone landed, but I do think Jacob Kowalski is a funny character, and it's great to get the no-maj perspective on everything that's going on in the Wizarding world. So, not every joke hit for me, but it was better than in the second one when Johnny Depp was cracking jokes as Grindelwald. So, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I agree. But Kowalski's
good, and I mean, not everything about this movie is great, and we're definitely going to get to more bewitching conversation right after this. And we're back. So, Bina, Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore, more like Dumble Snore. This movie is aggressively boring. Like, it goes out of its way to bore you with a red herring plot about a chillin', and then there's a sub-story about rigging a vote, which was just really bizarre, and then it gets into some really weird theming. Do you agree with me when I say this movie has a tendency to be boring?
I think the series has a tendency to be boring.
Yes.
Me personally, I think this movie was more exciting than the others. That's what I think.
I think this movie was a very bookended movie.
Yeah.
It opened with a great conversation
Yeah.
between Mads Mikkelsen and Jude Law, and they're talking about, they've got the little vial of blood, and they're talking about their past. And then it ends with a great duel.
Yeah.
But everything in the middle is full of half-baked characters, choices that are just bizarre, and then this really weird theming. When I talk about really weird theming, there's some analogies in this movie that I don't know if they were inserted for shock value or if they thought they were subtle, but there's, references to the Holocaust, there's references to the 2020 US election, and it's like, these aren't things that were just, like, side-hand things. They were major parts of the plot.
That were done on purpose.
They were done on purpose, and they're really complicated issues. They were not handled with subtlety or care. Did you kind of pick up on those at all?
Yeah, most definitely. I was like, that's a reference.
They were bold choices, and I don't judge them for making bold choices, but they were kind of just like picked up and then dropped and then never used again.
Do you think they should have expanded more with?
I think they should have not used them, because I personally think they were just used for shock value, not for having an actual conversation about real life issues.
There's like no reason with it. Yeah.
But kind of tied to picking things up and then never using them again, Catherine Waterston's character, Newt's, the person
Tina. Tina.
He's in love with, gone. Just
the whole movie.
We get a one-sentence explanation that she's in charge of Mac USA, but then
and then she returns to the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're just deprived of her as a character.
Yeah.
And then my other issue is all the big emotional moments that the second movie sets up. Because here's the thing. Second movie, not great, but at least it ends by trying to set a few things up. Like Queenie, it sets up her betrayal.
Yep.
But then her betrayal, there's no emotional weight to it because, she was a double agent. So it's like there's just these weird character turns that don't make sense to me. And speaking of character turns, I've got a question for you. Did this feel like a Newt Scamander movie to you?
No.
Because it didn't to me either.
It didn't. Which, I know we were talking about this. There's too many different story aspects to this. I mean, this is Fantastic Beasts, right? About Newt Scamander.
And there's three beasts.
Right. But then now it's just all about Dumbledore.
Yeah,
it was just all Dumbledore.
This is the Dumbledore family drama picture.
Which maybe that should just be the title.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that being the title.
I just don't pretend that this is a Fantastic Beasts movie. Because I love the different Fantastic Beasts. I love that they adapted the textbook from the books. But like I said, we get three beasts. We get Pickett, a Niffler, and the Chillin'.
Yeah.
That's
it.
I think there was a phoenix and a dragon at one point, but barely at all.
Yeah.
And so there was all these globe hopping moments. We could have got to see the different global Fantastic Beasts. More than just what's in England.
From the different countries and everything. That would have been dope.
But we didn't get that. And it's just so annoying because a movie like Shang-Chi, there's that part where it shows all these amazing Chinese beasts. And it's so cool.
Yeah.
And they could have done that with this movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And I just feel like they ditched the idea of being a Fantastic Beasts series.
And focused all in on Dumbledore.
Yep, midway through the second one. It just ceases to be Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about Ezra Miller.
Not great in this movie.
Yeah.
He's controversial for a lot of different things. But what I don't think is a controversial statement is that his character in this movie has the charisma of a cardboard box. A very empty cardboard box. He plays this role that could have emotional depth, you know, illegitimate son of Aberforth Dumbledore.
He didn't do enough.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He like is angsty, but it's empty angst. And when he has his redeeming moment, I don't know about you, but like, spoiler alert, he's dying.
He's dying.
And I didn't feel bad for him at all. I didn't care if he died.
I didn't either.
Which sucks because I want to have an emotional connection
Yeah.
with these characters.
But you just don't with
I
him.
felt
like,
emotionally
yeah.
connected to Dumbledore in this movie.
Yeah, same.
You know, his hands are tied. He can't fight Grindelwald. And so Dumbledore has always been a selfless character. He has to essentially use his friends as pawns in a chess game. And so that's a horrible position to be put in. So you feel for him. But I want to feel for Credence.
For Credence.
Because he was left by his dad and he's struggling with all these emotions.
Yeah.
But I don't. Not once. And I don't know if I blame the writing or his acting, but it's dreadful.
Maybe the acting. I wouldn't blame the acting.
I mean, and some of the other acting in this movie, like Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald, he's just this mustache twirling villain. He's not great. But I have one question for you. Just a Harry Potter knowledge question. How many houses are there?
How many houses?
Yeah.
4. Okay.
That's my score for this movie. This movie's a 4 out of 10. It is dreadful. I really, really genuinely disliked it.
Okay.
There were a couple of redeeming moments. Like, the duel was really cool.
Yes.
I'm going to end up rewatching that duel because it showed just how cool the Harry Potter fights can be.
Yes.
But this was not a Fantastic Beasts movie. It was
Gotcha.
an undercooked Dumbledore family drama. What would you?
Undercooked?
What would you?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
I liked it a little bit more, but I will say maybe it's because I saw it in 4D.
Yep.
So if you want a good experience, go watch it in 4D. Ride the roller coaster.
But J.K. Rowling just cannot make a spell to make this movie any good.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
That's all for this week. If you want to follow more Review Crew content, go to the Review Crew Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as Orange TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube.
Find the Review Q's podcast on Spotify or on our website at orangetvnetwork.syr.edu, where you can also find our blog and more OTN information.
Also, check out this week's screening hosted by University Union Scream. And be sure to check out Friday Night Movie Night on OTN. This week's movies are Teenagers from Outer Space, Plan 9 from Outer Space, and The Gold Rush.
See you next week.